Off of an exciting win against Invictus Gaming, Moyu of TOP takes his first ever MVP in his third ever game win, not match, game win against ex-world champion Duke. He's saying, who is Lies? Who is Marin? Who is Duke?
And it's just so good to see in this franchising era where teams are running 10 players that you can pull someone off the bench randomly and have him win you a game.
Yeah.
That's absolutely amazing. And just think about this narrative for TOP. If they beat IG today, they surpass their total amount of series wins in spring, and they actually inch forward into a playoff berth on the Western Conference as well. And if you think about Invictus Gaming, we have to question them because this should be the second best team of the league. But if they fall here, I'm off this hype train. They lost to WE, a one game, but it was a very close series. And now they're going to fall to TOP. This can't be. Come on.
We can see Watch back on the screen. But again, we've got to look at IG for this. Because, like you said, this is their sign. They went to 3 games against WE, who are currently one of the worst teams in the league. This is not the WE that went to semifinals that they lost to.
It was 1-7 WE.
You're exactly right, 1-7 WE. But now we've got Duke back on stage. The man who was able to snowball and get camped in game number 1 and propel against Moyu. Now he finds himself camped and ganked in game 2 and effectively loses the game.
I don't think, like, I agree with Frost. It's not really his fault for the way he played in that game. But I don't like the draft from Invictus Gaming where they throw 2 bans at Mori. They don't even know his champion pool. And then they blind pick Duke. That's a recipe for disaster, and that gives so much pressure into the top side. I also have to nitpick his 4v2 play in the Baron pit. He actually did not land the explosive cask onto anyone. Actually was dodged out by the perfect timing coming out from Moyu. So unfortunately, that was
here's the chance, right? Like, we're getting into pick and ban for this game 3. I can't believe I'm saying this, between Invictus Gaming and TOP, as now we get the chance to see, will IG recover? Because if they win this series, even if they close out this game 3, it's not going to be smiles for the IG team and the IG squad, as Zoe and Nocturne banned away. That Talia Aatrox still following similar sides. You'll notice, even after that performance, no substitutes from either side. Goong is still sitting on the bench backstage. Marin doing the same thing with Lies. And the Shy watches on with bated breath as Duke goes back against Moyu in this game 3.
It really wasn't too much of a Duke's problem, I would say. Actually, I know I did call for the Shy in game 2 because I felt like that made their draft stronger. But Duke played that fine in terms of like the champion and what he was given in that game.
And now we can see, will he recover? That's the Camille. That's a good sign for Ning. Very favored champion for him.
And it does give them a guaranteed access into a strong mid-jungle combination. Camille, one of the best level 2 gankers into the mid lane. And we can see TOP, Korn going back to what he's played in spring, going for the global composition, and trying to take away the bread and butter shell of Invictus Gaming, that Camille and Galio. If you give those 2 champions to Invictus Gaming, they are actually a decent teamfighting team. They took down SKT at Rift Rivals with the exact composition, so really smart play here to take that combo away.
And again, 3 out of the 4 games that Ning has played on that Camille, he has won. So now you've got another global with that, the Tom Kench. Let's see if we get another priority towards Jackie Love, saving that solo lane for Rookie and Duke a little bit later on to try and bait out some more knowledge, some more information as to what TOP are going to play. We've actually got a very early Orianna. You can see Rookie smiling as he's the one who locks it in. We've seen it go to Jackie Love, but we know that it's an old favorite for Rookie.
Yep, a champion that's actually quite decent in lane against the Galio as well. You have the range advantage to kind of peck at him. And doing it on the 3rd pick of the blue side does mean that they have a flex potential. It could go to Jackie Love like we've seen today, and it could stay with Rookie.
We've got Kindred now locked in for TOP as an answer. And still, we're looking for this top lane. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Moyu versus Duke. We're looking to see how this top lane shakes out. Mundo is banned away. So we'll see what else Moyu has got himself ready, as Kennen will be targeted away from him.
probably do have some scouting information on Moryu into the top lane. He was mainly a tank player in terms of the spring split. Did find his only win on Ornn. So that's pretty much what we know of him. Hasn't played in summer yet, but they are setting up the last pick for him.
Yeah, 1 Jax win, 1 Ornn win, as Lucian will be banned away from Invictus Gaming, and that Morgana is taken away from Cat on the bottom side. Very safe. Sorry, Cat and Chocho. Very safe laner if they were to run the Morg Shen.
This is actually a good composition for TOP to start running one of those hyper carries into the bot lane, something that can do well late game.
Ooh,
they do have a lot of protection. Oh, and they're going for the SMLZ Karthus, the one with Smite in lane to deal with those cannon waves.
The Death Singer begins to sing a song. Is it of IG's demise? Or is it a song that never ends? As now we get to see Moryu with counterpick against Duke in that top lane. He was able to snowball his matchup with some ganks from Ning in that game 1. As Duke decides to commit himself to the Gnar.
Yep, Gnar really isn't a champion where you can find a lot of counters against him. You play the tanks, that gives him a free pushing lane. There aren't many bruisers that can deal with him easily as well.
There's still a lot of flexibility for IG's comp. We don't know where that Orianna is going to go. And Jackie Love, you talked about a carry potential for TOP. Well, now you've got a Kai'Sa locked in for Jackie.
Oh, is he going to do it?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's taking the challenge and going for the Jax. Now, if you do get the Q early, you can pressure Gnar out very heavily in terms of the early game. However, the way the Jax matchup works is you constantly have to be aggressive. So this changes the dynamic to shifting away the 2v2 from the bot side to the 2v2 into the top side. And just watch how TOP have set this up. They have the Galio coming from mid. They have the Requiem and then a Stand United coming from bot. So they could all into the top side matchup and destroy Duke like they did in game 2.
Well, we're going to have to keep an eye on the tracking of Invictus Gaming because Jackie Love was taking teleport as that timer was running out, so perhaps could look to try to counter those plays. And then you've still got the Orianna capable of roaming the high mobility of Camille as a potential answer to the dive of TOP. But like you said, their strategy is clear. Moryu carried for them in game 2 in his 3rd victory of 19 total games in the LPL. And they all rally behind him in this game 3. They've still got a lot of macro potential, even if it does go through a neutral laning phase, because they have all of those globals to get them around the map. You've got Cool on something safe, or sorry, Korn on something safe in the mid lane. So let's see, will it come down to Moryu once again on this Jax against Duke?
Yeah, I do love the composition here from TOP. They are very team fight focused. They do have a better late game, and they have a strong focus in terms of the early mid as well. You just try to snowball that Jax as hard as possible. So I think a lot of this is actually going to come down to A, how Duke plays in the lane, because that's a very tricky matchup at times, and B, how much can Ning actually support him into the top side. He does have a better matchup early levels with the Camille versus the Kindred.
Well, Ning, we'll keep an eye on his pathing early on so far, as it's been largely standard. We do like to compliment how he plays with Duke. Not quite so much with Rookie when things get dicey early on, but it's all or nothing on the line as we get onto the Rift for this game 3. Let's hear from the crowd here in Shanghai. Renewed vigor from the TOP fans as they find themselves now watching TOP on the Rift against Invictus Gaming and a defensive setup on the red.
I love this strategy. They know that Ning is going to potentially try and secure the top side for their team, make sure Duke is safe. So they're just pulling Cat here for insurance and make sure that there is no vertical jungling going to happen.
And with that red buff nice and safe, TOP start to head on down towards their lane. XX looking to start off with his red buff. Duke is actually stepping up. Quick boomerang for the early first hit. And Moyu's actually stepping up to help give a leash over to XX and start him off in the jungle while we see a similar leash for Ning.
Yep, and we can see Orianna, Rookie, trying to abuse that lane advantage, that range advantage for himself, and stepping up to the wave very early on.
XX finishing off his red. Jacula was getting awfully close to stealing away the red buff away from Ning with that plasma proc. Getting the 5 hit at 400 health is awfully risky. But luckily, we do see the level 2 start from Ning as the fan vote. Please tell me that says TOP is now in favor.
It's not even considered a underdog matchup or an upset anymore. The fan actually does believe TOP will take it home.
54%.
Invictus Gaming really do have to look at themselves and ask what went wrong with this team. They were doing so well.
Ooh,
get the level 2
damage on the Baolan. The Skittles are doing a lot, plus the exhaust. No ignite. He's really low health. But luckily, there's no way for TOP to follow up because that was an exhaust start from Cat. As the wave crashes in, Jackie has to stand here and do everything he can to absorb these hits so that his support can get a quick recall. And there is no teleport for Baolan.
That's actually a really smart buy from Baolan. I actually think he would have died if he started with the pots. If he started with the refillable potion. He survived because he got extra HP just from the red potions, the health potions.
But now that means that already we can see that Karthus Shen starting to do some work there as Korn just catches minions in the mid lane. In the bottom lane, though, we actually did see some trading down there. It was the top lane. That's what I wanted to talk about. I completely lost my train of thought there. I was just happily watching it farm. Yeah, we did see a trade in the bottom lane. Cat with a very clever roam towards Rookie. Now, Rookie has cleanse right now. Cat just walks up, procs the Targons. Again, our match of the week tomorrow. Rogue Warriors versus Royal Never Give Up.
And they're both in not so good conditions so far, so it's going to be a interesting one to see who can maintain form coming off of Rift Rivals. The only 2 teams to find wins there. We're looking at the top side matchup, and it's very hard for Moyu because they don't have wave control. They know the first scuttle did go over to IG's side, and as a Jax, the only way you trade is if you can go up close and personal with the Gnar. And he just hasn't found the opportunity to do it. He should be doing better now that XX is in the top side, however.
I mean, even the Airy out of Duke for additional harass and threat. XX, like you said, is up here. Duke will proc into Mega. As Moyu with an early counter-strike walks into the stun, but Duke just walks it off as the wave resets. Let's see if Moyu actually has enough time to go for a quick teleport, or if XX is going to opt for a gank. No, just decide to keep it safe instead. Already a 12 CS advantage for Duke, like you mentioned, though. Yeah,
that's pretty bad news for the Jax in general. Typically the Jax in this matchup, he does have to go for the Sheen early on, and if you can't finish the Sheen before the Gnar gets his phage, then the matchup is it's very hard to flip it from that point on. Yeah. So you do need some good level advantage early.
Oh no! Duke! Oh!
What happened?
He swapped his summoner spell slots. He used his flash on the fountain.
Oh no!
And teleported into lane.
Hey, TOP don't know that.
They don't know.
TOP don't know that.
But that means that Duke is going to have to play a little bit safer, or maybe not, as he leaps away. Not taking the trade with Moyu. Okay. So can Duke play the information game and pretend that he has flash, but not get so much into a skirmish that he needs to flash?
He's gonna have to play super safe. I think you have to
go
honest.
Look at that, Moyu. I think he
doesn't know about it.
Yeah.
He doesn't know it. They're doing this because they see the jungle in the bot side.
Oh wow, Duke's actually doing a lot of damage.
Moyu
leap strike, the bounce over the turret.
Can he get another
flash
hit?
With the auto attack. Ooh, Airy. Oh, down to 30 health as the corrupting potion keeps him alive.
As the Duke mind game.
Oh my god.
Of course, TOP doesn't actually know he doesn't have flash.
Yeah. But that is so risky. Oh boy, Duke. Oh boy. But like you said, just getting vision of that jungler provides so much, and I think that's where we have to commend Baolan for keeping vision on that bottom half, to keep an eye as to where XX on the Kindred is going. As Cat, with the shadow dash, Jackie Love, like you said with the sidestep, gets out of there. And now taking stock of the bottom lane, because we've been watching top for so long. It's even in CS between these two. Still the Doran's ring for Jackie Love as he wants to sustain off the Acathian Rain. And even CS as the wave crashes in, though I believe if Jackie Love catches all of this, it should end up with that Kaisa getting the CS advantage.
Yeah, and to be honest, TOP's bot lane is just here to wave clear. That's why you bring the Smite onto the Karthus. You do get the echo effect from the Smite item, so it helps your wave clear quite a bit, and all of their focus needs to go on the top lane. If Jax falls behind in this matchup, he never gets back up. So we have to wait for that big level 6 and watch for TOP's resources to pile in.
He's still 12 CS down as he makes his way back into that top lane as he does tick over to level 6. And look at the first item that he had to purchase before that. That is a ruby crystal.
Yep.
Which, last time I checked, does not build into a sheen.
Yeah, that's typically when you're losing in the matchup.
Oh, yeah.
You have to go that way.
I mean,
so it's a bit unfortunate.
He did have to flash. I think he still assumes that Duke has flash.
He has to.
So can't take these trades as aggressive as he wants. XX is level 6, and he is on that top side, though he is low mana.
Yeah, the important thing, however, is the bot lane being level 6. That's when they can really funnel in.
Oh, yeah, once Chocho gets the Requiem.
So here, XX is trying to help Jax out.
Finally able to tick over, of course. That Grandmaster's Might from Moyu is there as well. Trying to bait Duke forward as he just pushes the wave in.
Yeah,
but Duke is playing so safe. Even Rookie is taking blue buff solo right now.
What?
As Ning has been nowhere. XX is walking up to help push this lane in.
That's how far behind he is in the matchup. I think TOP probably should have given a little bit more resources into the top side. Duke was able to play with full vision control over the river while Mori was playing blind. So he could never go for those trades that would have taken him ahead. You do actually win out on the early 3 levels against the Gnar, so
yeah, perhaps
missed opportunity.
Perhaps it was. We'll see if he can recover. Again, he is Jax. The game goes late enough. I'm sure we're all going to be hearing the thunk, thunk, thunk as he hits onto the vital carries of IG and eventually the Nexus. But we do have to note, Korn did not have teleport. Cat only just recently ticked over to level 6 along with Chocho. So no Requiem was quite ready for TOP. So maybe they just weren't ready to commit to the full global composition. Plus with Korn completing his recall, picking up himself the Catalyst and a Dark Seal, he's still just looking to get through this laning phase against Rookie, who is aggressively pushing in wave after wave.
Yeah, it's not a very easy matchup for the Galio against this matchup, against the Orianna, and you can see how Rookie plays it. He actually just oversteps the waves and punishes you for every single CS you take.
Oh. Oops. Using the command protect just a little bit too early, causing the ball to pull back to him instead of resetting and getting the instant protect. Ning's now been spotted in the bottom lane. I believe this is his first attempted gank of the game. And now he knows.
Yeah, there's no way TOP actually fall for this. This bot lane is not here to actually create kills.
Yeah.
It's just here to soak up the farm, and you can see what Chocho is doing. He could actually sneak up and take Gromp from this position as well.
He was able to get some more CS on this Karthus, 93 to 94.
I actually wonder if we see a lot more red side Karthus is because of that Gromp take.
The ability to back up, smite, secure it, and then get the bonus damage. Dropping down those Skittles as, oh, Rookie, oh, come on. That's so mean. Korn had to have known that that was there, unless he was caught window shopping. Even Jackie Love is getting up there with Baolan. Ping now going on to him.
Yeah.
Does have the Killer Instinct ready, but no Abyssal Voyage from Baolan, at least not within range just yet, to immediately rush in.
The play they have now for Invictus Gaming is that once XX goes towards the top side, they could just insta-dive the mid lane. They could kill Korn. They have free reign into the bot lane. They have Camille that can go over. So it's actually a very tense situation for TOP, and their top lane has just fallen so far behind, as well as their bot.
Actually had to complete a recall to pick himself up the components for his item, and doesn't have teleport, so Jackie is able to push in. Double Stinger Zerker Greaves. Doesn't get him the E-Evolve, but it gets him all the way up to the turret. And you can see he's chipping it down on this Kai'Sa. I'm actually really excited to see what build he goes, because it seems like we're starting to see AD builds come back a little bit more. The Storm Razor. Not even getting the Gwinsus. As even Rookie's coming down here to break it, but the minion wave is cleared out. Again, that Karthus, lots of wave clear.
I don't think they should be able to take this tower just straight up 2v2. But you can see what they're trying to do is move Orianna from the mid lane. Always is going to have priority in this lane.
Ning will be spotted as... Is XX trying to solo the Herald right now? Oh, Moyu. Lands himself that Conquerors, getting a lot of damage onto Duke. No, without the Sheen even. Flash and a quick bop. And the Requiem, no, hammer down! First blood, Chocho!
And that's how the composition should be played. It's all about the bot side, throwing globals into the top and getting that Jax ahead. This Jax was down 20 CS in the early game.
All he had to do was bait him into a false sense of security and then do some 1, 2, 3 quick maths to calculate how much he needed to get.
This is so fun to watch. Like, just watching a new concept be used in action and the execution to go into it. Like, there was no way that Duke expected that flash in W. Like, he was like, oh, he lost the trade, he's backing out. Wait a minute.
How can you? Yeah. Wait a sec, I'm very low health. I really hope there's no Karthus on the team. What? Oh boy, JackeyLove now stepping up to Chocho. He's real low. There's a teleport behind him and a Scan United stopwatch plus more. Now Baolan's in the front. Cat misses the Shadow Dash, but a stun is ready for Moyu as the global is collapsing on the bottom lane. Baolan's the target, but Moyu has found JackeyLove. Killer instinct for some distance. Moyu diving, decides to let JackeyLove off, but it's 2 kills for 0, and now both side lanes are empty for TOP in mid and top.
Yep, going on the Karthus right there, a little bit ambitious coming out from IG. They definitely knew at the very least that there was a stopwatch there. So a bit of an odd play, but they're looking to equalize in terms of the other solo lanes.
Yeah, the attempted trade back. Phage and that Sheen. XX is able to hold mid, but Duke is working down top single-handedly. The wave is going to be cleared out, and there's still no answer for Duke. It's TOP trying to break the map, but it's IG who look like they're set to take first brick.
Yep, and this does give Invictus Gaming a lot of opportunities to then go for the mid lane. They do have the naturally pushing bot, and they now have the freed up top lane as well.
Ooh, no flash as he used it just a moment ago. Ning takes a turret hit and dies! As he undercalculates the damage that Karthus can do. Yes, he does get the kill, but at what cost? Is again XX along with Cat looking to push in bottom and try to break down that Kaisa. Meanwhile, Korn, he's keeping Rookie busy in the mid lane.
If they do have the 4v2 advantage in the bot side, I believe Invictus Gaming is going to have to give this up.
Moyu actually canceled his recall to try and push down bottom even more. That means that Duke does get the chance to push up to a tier 2, though Korn is heading up to answer. And it will shake out as a 1-for-1, though a little bit shaky in how it broke apart. Oh!
Good W, but it only hit the Kindred, so the important laners do get to go back.
I think it's also trying to stall out the recall so that they can push in and take that bottom tier 1 because they've already done so much. Duke even taking the red buff away from XX.
Yeah, but this bot lane is going to hurt TOP quite a bit because you're freeing the Tahm Kench and the Kaisa. Both of them have half globals on the map. But they actually managed to hold with just Kindred.
Yeah, able to clear that wave out. TOP commit to the lane swap, sending Moyu bottom. And it looks like IG are still trying to stack up to break down that tier 1. Because it has not been broken yet, this does give a little bit more time for TOP to look for those core items. Again, the Phage, the Sheen, ready on Moyu. Just needs the Stinger to finish off his Triforce, as Black Cleaver has been finished off for his opponent, Duke. But Duke is mid lane right now, as it looks like IG decided to swap towards the other side. Flash ready for Korn.
It's a bit of an interesting choice here coming out. If I was Invictus Gaming, I would actually still put Duke into the top side to catch the incoming wave, and just try to avoid like going into long lane against Jax, because these are the type of lanes where solo kills can't happen quite easily.
Leap strike, counter strike used as Duke is ready with the adrenaline rush. Look at the damage and the Grandmaster's Might. Remember, no flash for Moyu. He's forced to leap away as Cat uses the Stand United. Duke pops into Mega, and suddenly trading becomes less viable. Meanwhile, you can see a lot of pressure up top. JackeyLove pushing all the way to the tier 2. Ning and Baolan have lit that jungle up. They are ready with the globals. Even Rookie trying to pressure in the mid lane.
Yeah, complete outplay coming out from Duke right there. With the red buff, he was able to kite out the Jax, and good Rage Bard on him as well to threaten the ultimate.
JackeyLove is ready with the Killer Instinct. Moyu's actually flanking from the side. Rookie is there too. Control Ward placed down along with Cat as TOP bring the whole family to clear out this vision.
Yep,
It's almost like TOP are careening across the map, wildly overcorrecting one choice or another, and I'm not sure if it's paying off or not, because now they're collapsing onto this mid-tier 1. Rookie's trying to step up and clear out the wave, but with a 5-stack, he uses the Shockwave Dissonance to break it down, and they still commit. Duke catches up as Cat takes aggro, and like you said, he can't break it down. Flash, and Cat uses his own. Meanwhile, JackeyLove pushing up to the top tier 2 to get some more damage.
Yep, a good Shockwave there to clear out the wave and try to go for some opportunistic catches behind the tower. Nothing really happens there. And Invictus Gaming should walk away with this mid.
They're still committed to it. Duke going to take a few hits, but the minion waves are pretty far apart as Moyu is able to defend top. Somehow, TOP are still holding on to that top tier 2 turret and the bottom tier 1 and even the mid tier 1. IG are just taking so long to finish this off because TOP are so aggressively overcorrecting to defend these lanes.
It's true, but I would say that TOP have actually put themselves in a bit of a bad situation. If you look at the item lead for Gnar, it's actually very difficult for the Jax, even with the Requiem and the Stand United, to easily find a kill on him. And you're in a bad situation where you have to invest so much just to keep the top lanes even.
With that investment, Moyu still not finishing off the Trinity Force. Baolan and Rookie stepping up to the Rift Herald. It's 4,500 health. Gets procced in the eye. They've got Smite ready. They've got to secure it, though, as Cat is going to be stunned. There goes a Grand Ensign. Shockwave on all 3, but they're all 4 there. JackieLove is ready with Killer Instinct. Moyu teleported from behind. He's got it onto JackieLove. Lands the stun. Look at the damage. Here comes the Requiem. It's about to drop down. JackieLove is still alive somehow as IG are able to clean up this fight. They finally managed to finish off Rookie as Duke joins in from the side. He kills Chocho, but it ends up being 1 for 3 in favor of IG as Moyu even scares IG back.
Yeah, that was great kiting coming out from Baolan and JackieLove, able to keep themselves alive through the Requiem and the
that was
a mistake right there. Yeah.
That's
and the Jax battering on them. Okay,
the mid-tier 1 breaking down by IG off the back of that fight. JackieLove finally is able to get it, but he pulls the attention of Duke towards that top lane with the quick Rift Herald drop to break that turret down. So it's still 2 turrets to 3.
It's a really close fight there. If TOP did manage to get the Lamb's Respite off, I felt like they could have held on to the back half of their team. Korn would have been alive longer, and they could have made more plays, but let's watch the combo coming out from Rookie again. He probably did catch XX unawares and kill him in a single rotation. Let's go into 3. See how XX actually dies before the Lamb Respite is used. It was Rookie and Baolan with the
tongue lash.
Yeah, that was clutch. Very clutch play right there.
Oof. And Moyu, you can already start to see some of the damage that this Jax is doing. Leaping onto JackieLove, forcing him to reposition with that Killer Instinct. Oh, Korn gets caught mid-Justice Punch. There goes the Hextech Ultimatum, but he's at taunt onto 2. Shockwave.
Gets 2.
He's able to be finished off by that AP Kaisa. Moyu forced to turn and run. He's got no flash from the last fight as Cat is forced to back away. TOP look for the Infernal Dragon and bite off too much more than they can chew. And
Invictus Gaming are showing some of their team fight chops up here. They do have a good composition that allows them to actually 5v5, unlike the Wombo combo comps they had in Game 1 and Game 2 necessarily, which didn't do so well into the late game. Invictus Gaming here, they bought themselves a lot of insurance in terms of the Orianna, in terms of the Kaisa.
That insurance is something that they desperately need in this Game 3 against TOP, because again, if they lost, if they lose this game, this loss would be a massive upset, especially against TOP of all teams, especially against Moyu of all players. 3 series wins in 3 game wins out of 19. And as we crest over to the 20-minute mark and Baron spawns, it's a 3,000 gold advantage for IG. They're up a turret. They've got plenty of chip damage on the top tier 2. Now they just need to close this game out.
Yeah, it's very difficult to see how TOP are actually going to approach the fight against Invictus, however. I do feel like without a split
with
pusher,
the sidestep, looks for the Spirit's Refuge.
Hello, Cat.
Where is his team? Hello? What is Cat doing here? He's just caught way out of position on that Baron, and then all-ins instead of backing away.
Yeah, I was just trying to check the Baron pit. I think he probably used his taunt to get down instead of taking the safe route.
It's a bit awkward.
Yeah.
But now IG have total control over the Baron pit. That could be a hefty mistake for TOP, as you can already see they're trying to capitalize on that top tier 2 as they manage to find XX, and a quick pop sends the Avatar of Death to the graveyard.
Yep, and this should be the Baron play from Invictus Gaming. They're already starting it now. It's going to be a 4v5 scenario.
And Vision has now spotted this out. Chocho does have flash. He's got himself the Zanya's Hourglass as well. That's a Requiem to start things off. Cat looks to get back into the pit, the place he just died, as the Baron is picked up. Rookie getting some autos over the wall. Tragically, Requiem does not target the Baron. Look at the damage Rookie's doing. Flash Shadow Dash. Cat goes in at the cost of his life. Grand entrance as they manage to get a lot of damage and finish off Ning. Now Korn is targeting Baolan. Rookie flashing away from Moyu as TOP try to reset the position of this fight. Good attack onto Moyu, forces him away, but with Duke joining the fight, he's able to finish off Jojo. No Requiem to lock down these final few kills. As XX, he's respawned, but IG, they've already won this fight. They've lost their jungler. Moyu over the wall! He's found Rookie, pinned against the wall. Korn is going to scare Duke away.
He does have the extra movement speed, but it's slowed by Kindred.
And the slow. That's a boomerang that misses on the first pass, but Duke is able to walk it out on the second.
I really don't like that re-engage from Invictus Gaming. They could have walked away straight with the Baron, but decided to go for potentially more kills. Sure, they did outplay TOP in a sense, but they do lose 2 Baron buffs on their personnel and actually trade a couple kills back to TOP.
Yeah, and that will help get TOP back into this game quite a bit. I mean, it's a risky play, right? You've already got the Baron. You know that TOP are trying to find a desperate play across the map. If you manage to ace them there, I think the risk reward is you take mid-tier 2 and then recall to come back for the inhibitor.
Look, I think smart teams don't actually go for that fight. You would much rather have both Flash and Cleanse on Rookie when you're sieging for a big objective, because that's the scenario where TOP is most likely to run into you, and that's the scenario where you're most likely to punish. You don't want to take the scrappy fight and burn your summoners on that. You could burn it on something much more valuable. So, you know, they do outplay, but I think it's time we start calling out Invictus Gaming on some of these things they do that smart teams would not do.
Yeah. Well, they're still in the lead in this game, about 5,000 gold up as Duke is pushing the bottom tier 2. Moyu there to help Korn clear out the wave, as Moyu did just push top, but that leaves mid undefended. Chocho landing some good damage onto Baolan. Now trying to drop even more damage onto that cannon minion as it's just hammering down onto the mid-tier 2. So tough to clear that wave. Unless Karthus can step up to the cannon, but with IG protecting it, there's no way, and it's just going to break down this tier 2.
Yeah, massive range advantage coming in from IG. TOP are going to have a very difficult time running into this composition. It's going to have to be a flank, and most likely for Moru, which he is collapsing on.
Yeah, loops around from behind, but look at the amount of wards that he just walked through. That's one control ward, but there's also one behind the Wolf Camp, and another control ward past that.
Yep.
So IG, well and truly aware of where that Jax is, where he's going. Simply able to turn around and walk away from it.
I think the way you play this... Oh, wait a minute. The Duke's out of position.
He's got himself that frozen mallet, so he's able to get a slow as he pops into Mega.
The way TOP want to play this fight is they want to go in with Moyu from the back, stand united on him, and then flash forward for Xiongqiong to get the Lance Respite on the front line. If that front line survives, they can deal a lot of damage, and then Chocho finishes it off. It doesn't matter if Chocho dies, because he can still cast Requiem from the front. But that's the perfect team fight. That's the script that TOP have to run for. Flank with Moyu, get the Lamps Respite on your Bruiser so they can deal enough damage, and then finish with Requiem.
Risky play as Chocho still doesn't have his Void Staff. He's 70 CS down compared to Jackulov on that Kaisa. As Jackulov is just getting bigger and bigger. Now a Fiendish Codex next, so not going for the greedy Rabadon's third item on that AP Kaisa. But I see the strategy as well. It's super easy to just park the Karthus on top of the Spirit's, sorry, not the Spirit's Refuge, the Lamb's Respite from XX.
You actually don't need him on the Lamb's Respite, which is the cool part about the composition. It doesn't matter if he dies. You just want him able to use the Requiem when the Lamb Respite, Respite finishes.
So the pronunciation, random fun fact, the pronunciation of Respite versus Respite depends on whether you're from the Commonwealth or from American English.
What's the American way?
The American English is respite, hilariously enough.
Respite, it is.
Yes.
American way is the right way.
But if you're from the Commonwealth, it's respite. Yeah, fun fact. Anyways.
Okay, respite then.
But now, again, IG, they're looking for Cat.
Out.
They are 6,500 gold ahead. They're playing it nice and slow against TOP. It's still not the perfect game that we wanted to see out of IG, but it seems like they've learned their lesson from this game too, at least. They're taking their time as Shockwave again onto Cat. He's the target as they finish off the final tier 2 turret. They know Moyu is split pushing in that top lane as they did just spot him out on a minion wave. And now they're even taking this Mountain Dragon to just close all opportunities for TOP to get back into this game, because Baron's up in 2 minutes. And like you said, TOP, they've got a strong team fight. If they win a fight, it's very easy for TOP to turn it around and try to get back in.
Yep, but they are currently staring down at a 7,000 gold deficit, and I just have to compliment Invictus Gaming for playing the early game correctly. Gnar versus Jax, it is a matchup decided based on jungle pressure, and Invictus Gaming had the much better deal there. They countered what TOP wanted to do. They said, we're reading your strat, you want to go all in on us level 6, we're not going to let that happen. And they just kind of snowballed off of that fact. TOP tried multiple times to throw everything they have into the top lane, and Duke did counter well.
Ooh, Moyu's on the wrong side of this one. Drops an early counter strike, but that's the Hextech ultimatum. Jackie Love and Balan join the fight. Moyu gets in there. That's the Galio you were talking about. Moyu flashes away as he teleported in just to save his top laner, and now TOP are forced to run. Blast Cone splits them up. XX running away, but it's 60 seconds till Baron, and Moyu and a lot of the members of TOP have no flash. Yeah,
there's 2 flashes expended from Moyu and XX into the top lane. I think the one that really hurts is the one on... Whoa!
Ooh, that's an early Zanya's. Void Seeker misses as Chocho forced to flash away Korn. He gets a taunt onto 2. Jackie Love flashes away. A quick cleanse. Duke pins him against the wall. Korn goes golden. As you can see, Cat has joined in. Moyu looking to join in. He needs a target though. Rookie hits behind them. Look, he's found Korn. That's a lot of damage on top of the Requiem, on top of the Respite. Balan picks him back up. A double kill for Rookie. The Requiem is ready. Have they done enough damage? Duke goes low. Moyu, can he turn it around? One man against the world. The entire team building up against him, but the kill goes over to Duke and IG. Ace TOP.
Yeah, and that was such good, perfect timing usage coming out from IG. Duke had one, Rookie had one. They all dodged out on the crucial CCs coming in from TOP, not able to finish off the crucial members right there. And you can see Rookie, just before the Lamb's Respite hit, he actually killed 2 members.
Lots of burst damage as IG now turn onto the Baron to finish off that objective. And TOP, they were scrambling a bit to get that team fight set up that we just talked about for them. And while they were able to get it in the very end, they just didn't quite have enough damage.
It was a close call coming out from IG though. Remember, they are 8K ahead at this point. XX going into the front, and they cut up 2 members on the left side of the fight to start. Get good damage on Duke and Jackie Love, but they just can't finish anyone off. Moyu can't find the targets, and Rookie finds 2 kills before they go into Lamb's Respite. That was the crucial play of the game right there. If those 2 were able to stay alive and deal enough damage to IG's composition, the Requiem could have finished off more members.
And you can see the massive slows now coming out from IG to prevent that Jax from doing even more. All it took was a little bit more positioning, a little bit closer to the left for Chocho and Cat, and that fight could have been completely different.
Yeah, and that was the flash off from Kindred. That was the big point I was talking about, because if you do have the flash, then he can flash forward into the back line and complete that assassination.
But now it's Baron for Invictus Gaming. They're 10,000 gold ahead. Massive advantage as we get to the 30-minute mark. Kaisa, 3 items plus a QSS. Rookie at 3 items plus a fully stacked Spellbinders. If he wants to pop someone, he can, as that's the pop we're talking about. Doesn't use it yet. He's still holding on, but even just the respite is enough to force XX away. Duke joins it from the side. Flash Boomerang. Void Seeker onto Cat. Killer Instinct. Jackie Love smells blood as Duke finds 1 kill. Chocho goes golden to prevent a second. But already they're looking for another. Jackie Love is able to land the 3rd. A Requiem as Korn is trying to hold the minion wave, but like we said, IG smell blood in the water, and they start pushing forward for this Nexus. Moyu and XX trying to hold their ground, but without the Karthus, without Cat, it's going to be an uphill climb.
It's a 3v5 scenario right here. TOP on their last legs, going for the combo.
2. There goes Korn. Knockup is going to get Ning down into that GA. Korn with the quick stun is able to buy even more time, but Moyu is just turning and running. He can't go in against 5 people. He dies as he's chased back to the fountain. XX will get a quick revenge kill as Duke goes too far, but they turn on to the Nexus. Invictus Gaming, 31 minutes in, close out the series and defeat TOP.
And Invictus Gaming cling on to their position as one of the top dogs of the LPL. A lot of things did go wrong for them in this series, but at the end of the day, the composition they drafted had a good team fight potential. They could go with TOP into the late game. I thought they played the early game perfectly as well. Denied the strategy coming out from TOP, read the composition, and played accordingly. This is something that we really want to see Invictus Gaming play more of. Stop with the ARAM, stop with the fact that you're just better players, go with strategy.
And look at this, as Duke shakes hands with Moyu, you can see from IG, there are no smiles for this team. They knew the expectations coming into this matchup. This was supposed to be a quick, clean, and easy 2-0 against the team that set the longest loss streak record in LPL history. And they dropped a game, coming off of a set in which they dropped a game against Team WE, who are currently 1-7 in the standings. Yes, they take the win, they get the victory, but they should not be feeling victorious after that for a team that's looking for playoffs and worlds beyond.
Yep, a lot of those team fights were still very close, even 8K ahead of TOP's composition. And we're just seeing that I feel like Invictus Gaming, they haven't been as creative as we hoped they would be in this new patch. We've seen RNG play with the crazy drafts. We've seen Rogue Warriors do kind of the same things, reinvent their playstyle with the Bruiser composition, but Invictus Gaming is still same old Invictus Gaming. They play with their laning strength, and that's about it. So, you know, I feel like Invictus Gaming stock has dropped significantly in terms of this couple of weeks.
Well, that's what they doubled down on in this game, playing just a standard lane phase to accelerate through into the mid game. And take a look at that gold. It's slow and it's even until about the 15-minute mark when you start to see that solo lane break. And TOP, they were the drivers who initiated that by teleporting bottom, by diving top, by trying to forcibly overcorrect these plays.
The important thing right there in that gold graph was TOP did not get the early game spike they were looking for. They took the top tower very, very slow, and their strategy in general did not work. However, I have to say, I really like the strategy. It was super interesting to watch. It's the first time we've seen something like that, going all in onto the top lane with the double global in the bot lane. So that was a fun game.
Didn't quite work out for them, though, so we'll have to see if it does in the future. That said, it's time for our analyst to break down that IG series win.
Thanks, guys. IG did pick up the 2-1 victory over TOP in that best-of-3 series. We saw, in Champions Select at least, that Camille as well as Galio being split apart for the two different teams. We saw Kindred as well as Karthus trying to be set up by TOP. Didn't work out too well for them. But we also saw IG go back towards more of a protect the Jaculov style composition, especially with Tom Kench being picked up by Baolan and Jaculov playing a hyper carry this time around.
Yeah, and that's the champion that I really want everyone to focus on. So you can see draft on the bottom of your screen. It's pretty much comfort across the board. You have Jaculov on a traditional ADC. You have Rookie on his famous Orianna. And the big pick for me is Baolan on Tom Kench. It's his best champion that he plays. And I think it's actually the best champion for Invictus Gaming. This is a team that is constantly struggling to team fight. We sound like broken records. You're tired of hearing it. But the thing is Tom Kench allows them to actually win team fights. It was close, but think of how many times you saw Baolan running into the middle of teams, gobbling people up, and then flashing out to spit people to safety because he has carries like Jaculov who just don't know when to say die. They just constantly blitz in, fly back, and yeah, it's a Kai'Sa, but he'll do this on any champion. How many times have we seen Jaculov just out of position, immediately blown up, deleted from the map?
I mean, it's all the time. Invictus Gaming historically well known for their 80 carries doing just that. We had West a few seasons ago. Now, Jaculov in playoffs didn't look too good there either. But very comfortable, you mentioned, the team composition coming out from Invictus Gaming, all the way down to even Ning picking up Camille in the jungle, a comfort pick for him.
Yeah, and you know, that's fine. Like,
it's okay. Yeah,
but it's just like it's the idea of if they're struggling for team fights, you have to look at what's happening on their front line. And when you have Duke and Ning, who are on Camille and Gnar, you're like, okay, they fly in, they hit the big wombo combo. But even on any champion, like, how many times did you watch those team fights and Gnar was on the back, like not tanking for anyone, not really hitting the wombo combo, and then kind of wandering back into the fight? Or Camille was just slightly mistimed with layering of the CC or not delivering the full shockwave. Like, sometimes you get those crisp, clean team fight wombo combo moments, but a lot of time it's just very scrappy, you know, 1v1v1v1v1.
Is this something that IG must address and must fix moving forward? Because are there other strategies they can go towards, like split pushing a little bit more, or drafting to move away from team fights, so to speak? Or is this something that eventually IG have to bite the bullet and fix their damn team fights?
Because they're in the LPL, if you cannot team fight, you will never be champions.
Well, hopefully IG are going to be able to fix their team fights. So the side of TOP, they were able to try and take it to IG. Game 1, Game 2, Game 3 a little bit lackluster, weren't able to get similar snowballs or a back and forth game like we saw in game 1. However, this time round, it was the perfect time for them to try something a little bit unorthodox, something different from usual to try and pick up that win in cross-conference against IG. We saw the all-in to Jax in the top lane. We saw lots of globals trying to protect him. Even the Kindred Karthus combo coming out. Was this the right strategy for TOP moving into this match? Was this how they tried to cheese a win almost against IG?
Moyu, if you go all the way back, he is a big Jax player, so I like the fact that he pulled it back out onto the stage. I know we also talked about his Rumble at the beginning of the day, but it was super cool of TOP. I'm just going to echo Clement. I loved the composition. I thought it was quite clever. I would love the execution on it, especially because you see Duke, and in your game that you previously won, you did focus on that top side of the map, and they were able to win through that, especially against a traditional ADC since they're not playing the mages. Usually if you have all of your gold on Jax, and then if Invictus Gaming get all of their gold on Kai'Sa, who's really going to win there? Is it going to be the Jax that can jump into the front line and bash her up, or is it going to be, you know, this very fragile Kai'Sa? But unfortunately for TOP, the gold got spread around, and each member of Invictus Gaming managed to hit their key moments when they needed to. But what's cool is if you look at the Western Conference, we now have an upset of FPX over RNG just yesterday. We now have TOP have a competitive game against Invictus Gaming, and it looks like there is actual life that is still breathing into the Western Conference. Not necessarily showcasing on the scoreboard, but that last position for playoffs is still up for grab, and TOP might be the most competitive team to actually take it.
I mean, they're tied with 2 other teams in their respective conference. On the other side, though, Suning still holding on outright to number 4 spot. They're still 2 games ahead of any other team trying to contest for that, but number 4 is what a lot of teams are looking towards, sadly, because that's the last spot to get into playoffs. It will be very important going back into intra-conference round 2. However, we do have Baolan standing aside for an interview. Let's go over to him.
Hello everyone, and with me is Invictus Gaming support Baolan, who just came off of Hard Series versus TOP 2-1. Baolan, 你可以跟大家打声招呼吗？
大家好，我是IG的辅助宝兰。
My first question for you, Baolan, is in Game 3, we saw you go back to the more stable support, your best champion in the Tahm Kench. Can you sort of talk about the mentality and the process that you've decided on this pick? 就我想问的第一个问题是在第3场的时候，你又回到我们觉得你玩的最好的这个肯奇上面，那你可以大概讲一下，就为什么就是在这个关键局的时候又回到这只角色？
因为其实这个版本因为圣很 OP 嘛，它是可以在线上支援其他路的。然后机动性强的辅助就是只有能跟圣媲美的就只有在塔姆，而且它是有 W 可以保护 AD， 不会被圣一闪击杀什么这种。
So the main reason was that Tahm Kench is the only champion in this meta that you can really match up with the global pressure coming up from the Shen. And also Shen is such a good laner that you want the Devour and the W from Tahm Kench to secure your position in the lane. My second question for you is that Invictus Gaming has been a very highly praised team for its talent, but so far we've seen a lot of turbulence in your performance. Can you tell us what's going on with the team and what is the main area that IG is looking to improve on? 第二个问题我想问就是说，其实 IG 这支队伍我们非常的推崇，然后也都觉得你们的选手实力非常的好，但是最近的比赛其实老实说蛮起起伏伏的。那你可以跟我们讲一下最近 IG 的状态大概是什么样，然后你们在未来的话最主要想要提升的部分是什么？
因为这个版本什么英雄都有出现嘛，就是有一些就是很难找到就是最好的那个选择，然后我们最近正在尝试就是什么选择是最好的，所以在这方面就是可能会出现一些比赛上的那个。 失败，就是在尝试。
Okay. So recently the patch is just thrown us into chaos. There's a lot of champion picks that are flying around, and we're just trying to hone down on what really we're trying to play at this point. So a lot of times when we do try with the new picks, it doesn't come out as successful as possible. The final question I do want to ask you is about the top lane swats. When we see Duke coming in, do you think that makes the bot side more aggressive? Do you guys feel like you need to play up, or how does the dynamic change with the different top laners? 就最后一个问题，我想问的就是，你们在上路换进来的时候，你会不会觉得对你们的下路的玩法也有一些改变？这样子，你们会不会觉得你们可能是要变成地图上面比较凶的那一边这样子？或者说这2个上路进来，你觉得对你们的团队会有怎么样的一个影响？
我觉得还是就是上单选手，我们都是觉得大家的实力是差不多的，然后还是看他们的英雄选择吧。如果上路。 直在上的话，可能会选择风险性更大的、更需要打野帮助的英雄，然后杜可能会选择牺牲一点自己的，就是让打野可以来帮助我们下路，所以比较看英雄的选择，然后来决定怎么样打。就算是杜可用攻击性的英雄，也会靠上他的这种。
So generally speaking, we think the two top laners are of equal strength, but when Duke plays more of the times, he does pick champions that require less jungle focus, and when the Shy plays, then he's definitely a jungler magnet, and we do have the jungler play towards him most of the time. However, it does come down to the picks they play. If Duke wants to play something aggressive, then we 100% support him with our jungle resources as well. That's all for my interview here with Baolan, and we can take it away on the desk.
Thanks, Balan and Clement. We'll definitely take it away from here. And going into that discussion Balan was talking about, I like that Clement asked him about Tahm Kench, because he brought up another factor of Tahm Kench we didn't talk about on the desk earlier, which is it provides that global utility which a lot of teams pick the champion for, and matches Invictus Gaming's playstyle as well, since they're a very skirmish, lane-focused team. They want to get away from the team fights, not into it.
Yeah, and they also still like to power int a couple of times, and Balan has to do his best to kind of gobble them back up, pull them back to safety. I do like the point about the Shen, but I just feel like Tahm Kench is just so potent and powerful right now. It does help that Shen is also in that power position.
Is this just a champion that every team going up against Invictus Gaming has to go, well, no Tahm Kench for this match?
I wish every team in League of Legends would say no Tahm Kench, let's get rid of it. I hate watching that champion. I've not been quiet about this. I absolutely hate Tahm Kench. I think he ruins everything about this game.
Just no interactive gameplay. You're fighting against the game, not fighting as a champion.
That's fun.
Bench the Kench, get rid of him. But after that match, Rookie was able to pick up MVP for game number 3. Got his signature pick of Orianna, was able to go to town on it.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that Balan didn't get it, but I understand. If you take a Quadras and finish 6-3 and 9, you're probably going to get man of the match, especially when you are on your signature pick of Orianna. So, well done, Rookie. You hard carried the team fights.
It's his 7th MVP performance for Invictus Gaming this split as well. One of the star carries, I mean, he used to work
He is the star carry.
The star carry. He used to work alongside the Shy a lot, but now they're playing a lot more of Duke. And Balan was even talking to Clement saying that, you know, the two of them can play whatever they want. The Shy is a bit of a Dyrus, will attract the junglers to the top side of the map, but if the Duke plays aggressive champions, we'll give them the jungle resources. So good to see that they're still trying to adapt to whatever picks they play, and not necessarily the players that they're playing in each match.
But they still need to adapt more of their strategy. I agree with Clement. I think that Invictus Gaming, the stock is plummeting there. Until they want to reclaim their throne or even have a shot at the throne, they need to go back to the drawing board, look at the compositions and the versatility of their players, and really start ironing out and fixing some of these weaknesses. Because we can't come into week 5 and have questions about IG, especially after their record-breaking performance in spring.
They need to fix something, because if not, Invictus Gaming are going to turn into another .com bubble. But let's go into a break, because we're back with the second match. It's going to be coming up in just a bit.
想要征服他人，必先战胜自己。EDG 的队名就是鞭策我们的动力。